Hello everyone and welcome to Fifth North. I'm Demir and today I'm going to show you how I detail my motorcycle. Alright, so first of all, this video is not sponsored by Grio's Garage. I'm just a big fan of their products. That's why I've got the full display behind me. But with that being said though, if you're a first time viewer to the channel, thank you for stopping by and checking it out. And obviously if you're a returning viewer, I do appreciate your continued support. Alright, so let's talk about detailing and washing your vehicles in general. So normally, if I was washing one of my cars, I would just use the Grio's Garage foam cannon. I would just, go ham with the foam cannon, let it all foam up. I'd rinse it, and then I'd go to town with the rest of the products, right? With my motorcycle though, I don't really feel comfortable pressure washing the motorcycle with the full-on foam cannon. I'm sure I could, as long as I avoided some key areas, but rather than to be fully sketched out and unsure, I decided to take a different approach. So instead of utilizing a traditional full-on water method, I actually decided to go with the Grio's Garage spray-on car wash. And the reason that I went that route is because I can actually do it in my garage, in the shade, without making a big mess while still getting my motorcycle really clean. Let's talk about the steps that I take to get my motorcycle done properly. So first and foremost, I start off with the spray-on car wash like I mentioned. So the spray-on car wash is very simple. You spray it wherever the bike is dirty, and then you use a towel to wipe the bike down and to remove all the dirt. For me personally, I like to use the PFM towels. These gray ones are really good. They're nice and thick, nice and absorbent, and they're big enough to where I can rotate the towel multiple times to make sure that I'm getting all the dirt off of the bike. So I'll go ahead and spray this on the bike, as you guys can see, and I'll pretty much hit the entire bike with this piece by piece, wipe it down, and get it nice and clean. Now the problem with the spray on car wash, it's a little bit harder to wipe down some of the little crevices and cracks on a motorcycle, and so that's where I'll actually use these little, they're kind of like cotton swabs, but a little bit bigger, and I'll use these to actually get into all the little cracks between body panels, between frame and body panels, stuff like that, and I'll just kind of go through nicely with them, wipe it all down, get all the dirt out, and then it'll be nice and shiny in all parts of the bike. Now once I've finished with the body, and then move on to other parts. So right now I'm going to move on to the headlight. For the headlight, I'll actually use the window cleaner. The window cleaner does a great job on the headlight because it's just a clear surface, and if you do it properly with this window cleaning towel, on the one side you've got a what I call the fuzzy side, and that's going to be the super absorbent side. So you spray it first, use the fuzzy side to get all the excess product off of the headlight. Then I flip it over and use the smooth side. This is what I call the detail side, and I'll use that side to detail dry and touch up really nicely to make sure it dries nice and even and that there's no marks left on the headlight. I'll also use this for my mirrors and any other glass surface on the motorcycle. So for example, if your motorcycle has a windshield or something like that, I would use this as well. Alright, so moving on to the gauge, you might assume that I would utilize the window cleaner for that as well, but actually I don't. I instead use the Grio's Garage interior detailer, and the reason that I do that is because Grio's Garage actually recommends that you use this product for navigation screens, right? And so what I think about for the gauge, it's kind of like a navigation screen where I want to make sure that it's nice and clean, but I also want to add that UV protection. So this actually does give you a little bit of UV protection, so I figure if I want to keep that plastic around the gauge nice and clear, nice and protected, it's a good way to go. And that way my gauge cluster will look clean and protected as I ride for many years. Moving on from there, I'm going to head on over to the seat. Now on this particular bike, I'm not 100% sure what the seat is made out of, but I'm pretty sure it's some sort of vinyl material. And so what I'll do for that is I'll start off with the interior cleaner. I'll spray it all across the seat, and then I'll use one of these green interior towels to really kind of give it a nice touch up and clean up any kind of dirt or mildew or stains or anything that happens over time with the bike, being used or possibly getting rained on or bird droppings, whatever the case might be. I'll use that to clean it up. And then when I'm finished cleaning, I'll actually switch over to the Grio's Garage fabric protectant. I'll give it a nice layer, rub it in nicely with the same green towel, let it cure for about 12 hours, and then I'll do a second layer just to give it that extra protection. And once you got that fabric protector on there, it does a really good job protecting the fabric against all sorts of different elements, including water damage, helping it just kind of last longer and looking better for a longer period of time. All right, so moving on to the wheels, I utilize the heavy duty wheel cleaner from Grio's Garage. With this one, I just spray it on, let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. It kind of starts to change color and it works on its own to really break away a lot of that brake dust and other road grime. And then what I'll do is I'll grab a nice brush like this one and I'll just kind of agitate it and kind of rub all the way around the wheels and on the inside of the tires and everything to remove as much crud as I can. And then what I'll probably do is I'll rinse it off a little bit and then I'll do it again. This is the one part that I'll do outside where I can just kind of get a water bucket and clean the wheels off and then do it a second time just to make sure I get really everything on there. When the wheels are mesh ones like this, it's a little bit more difficult to clean each individual mesh spoke one by one. So having this spray really helps me out and keeps me from having to scrub them individually. Now with that being said, I go back to my process one more time. It's spray initially, let the spray work for 5 to 10 minutes, rinse it off with water, spray again, then use a brush to agitate, rinse one more time, and the wheels should be good to go. All right, so when the cleaning's complete, what I'll do to finish off the job is I'll actually spray the entire bike down with a ceramic 3-in-1 wax from Grio's Garage. This, in my opinion, is the best product that they sell. I use this on all my cars, on my bike, pretty much on every part of the vehicle, the paint, the wheels. It does a really great job of giving it a nice, rich color and a really, really good protection. It's so crazy when I actually wax up the car and then I spray it with the hose, everything beads and flies off immediately. I actually wax the whole thing and then I put a bottle of the wax on top of the car and it literally slid off the car. Like, that's how smooth it makes the car. And so obviously I'm going to use the wax on my bike as well. All of these body panels that are painted, I'm going to wax them, and I'll do it multiple times to make sure it's done really well. So for this job, I'll go ahead and use the blue edgeless towels. It's a very soft cloth. I'll go ahead and wipe it and then completely buff it out. And with that, the paint is going to look great and be very well protected too. The protection normally lasts about a year, but I'll go ahead and apply it every 6 months just to be extra safe. The ceramic 3-in-1 wax is my finishing touch for cleaning my bike, and now my bike is good to go. All right, so it's all fun and games, but what happens if your bike gets dirty in between those detailed cleanings? Well, very simple. If you're out riding, you've got some bird droppings, you've got some dirt and grime, some mud, whatever the case might be, I bring the bike back into the garage, I spray it with some ceramic speed shine, I wipe it down with a PFM detailing towel, and the bike is good to go. My very first product that I ever tried from Grio's Garage was their original speed shine, which I really liked, and that's what got me started with Grio's in the first place. And then while I was learning all their other products, they actually went ahead and released the ceramic version of it. So naturally I went ahead and tried it, I loved it, and so now I use the ceramic version pretty much exclusively. So it's a great product for those quick touch-ups in between the major washes. All right, so now you know how I clean my motorcycle. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. If you like this video, hit the like button for me, and if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well because it does help my channel out quite a bit. With that being said, that's it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.